We are back, and this little guy is not going to color himself, so let's jump straight into it. Just a quick recap on what we're working towards. This is our cute solution, and hoping to get the picture as close as possible to that. We've got a few colors left to sort out, so you can see the ticked items are already done, the unticked still need to be done. We're going to start with 606 and 650. These are part of the background and they'll make the picture start to pop. Adding these bright colors also enhances the character itself and brings him a bit more forward on the page, and it highlights him. This pink is quite nice. It would maybe need only 2 coats because of getting the paint even, but it is very opaque and the paint has a nice viscosity. I'm just following my normal technique of outlining the area in most cases, and then we color in the middle. Because this is quite a thin section, you can also do it bit by bit. That's entirely up to you. A lot of people might prefer to use paint for these type of areas, but I'm okay with using the brush markers. It all depends how comfortable you are and your technique with your hand, and obviously how firm the tip is on the brush marker too. So the pinks and blues add quite a nice pop to the picture. We're going to go in with a berry type of pinkish red color now. This is mainly on the outline around Mushu. I've always been a person that experiences quite bad levels of anxiety, and since starting this hobby, I can definitely say that has decreased substantially. I think especially with, the intricate little twirls and shapes that we need concentration on, it forces you to switch off and automatically reduces that level of anxiety. I'm not sure if everybody watching is familiar with Mulan and Mushu's character in the movie. So Mushu is this tiny little dragon that used to protect the Far family, and he failed to do so with one of the family members and was demoted to an incense burner. So he went from this high role of guardian to something really irrelevant, and for many years all he did was try and prove himself. He was never taken seriously and relates a lot to the feeling that people with anxiety have. I also find it quite funny that he tries to humor a situation and make it a situation a lot lighter to combat his feeling of anxiety or his feeling of being inferior in a situation. Again, that can be very relatable for many of us. It gets to a point in the movie where you see that Mushu admits his error to Mulan, and the moment that he, becomes self-aware is actually the turning point in the movie. I like to think that when coloring, I get that feeling of self-awareness as well, because you can, detach from the now and the current moment, and in that time you do a lot of processing and thinking, and it allows you to reflect on certain situations and also just pause before acting and being impulsive and just going headstrong into something. I do feel like Mushu is the perfect Disney character that represents anxiety. He's this big egoed character on the outside presenting as confident, but inside he's falling apart and he doesn't love himself and he's always doubting himself and worrying, and that is the representation of anxiety. I can also compare Mushu to my little sausage dogs that I love so much. They are these tiny little beings and think that they own the house and they have the last say, and what they do is the most important. Our last section is the black. We've got the bigger black areas where I'm doing now, and then we do also have the black outlines that we all do last. I like to leave the black outline to last so that can be basically the glue that brings the picture together. So this black will bring the picture together nicely, complete all the silhouettes. People also think that because black is your darkest color, it's the easiest to apply. Not really. Bad quality markers, the blacks streak like you can't imagine. No matter how many coats you do, it still comes, down on the page very streaky. As like the other colors, you do need to do 2 coats. I would always recommend 2 coats of every color, no matter how opaque it looks on the first coat. You can start seeing that these are buildings that I'm busy coloring. Your typical Chinese type temple looking buildings. I am going to use a finer tip to go around these circles. This creates a border basically to not color on when I go in with thicker marker. I normally also go in with my white marker right at the end just to enhance the white spots again. We're so close to being done. Pictures coming together nicely. We made it to the outlining and I can't wait to see how this is going to bring the picture together. I am using a thinner liner for this outlining, even though it's quite a thick area to outline. I just find I have more control over the outlines when I use something thinner. It's quite easy to blush into the colors in the fine areas when you're using a thicker marker. Your secret to outlining is the perfect edges. You don't want those jagged start-stop edges. It doesn't finish the picture off as nicely as those seamless one-line edges. That's a wrap for Mushu, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around while we finish this little guy up. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. See you in the next one. Bye!